Long ago, in the land of Midian, a man named Moses lived a quiet life as a shepherd. But Moses hadn't always been a shepherd. He was once a prince of Egypt, raised in the Pharaoh's palace. However, after a fateful decision that changed his life, Moses fled to the wilderness, far from the land where he was born. For years, he lived in Midian, tending sheep, building a new life, and perhaps believing that his past was behind him. But God had other plans. One day, as Moses led his flock near Mount Horeb, also called the Mountain of God, something caught his eye. A bush engulfed in flames. But here's the strange part. The bush wasn't burning up. Curious, Moses moved toward the bush, and then he heard a voice calling his name. At these words, Moses fell to his knees and covered his face, afraid to look upon the presence of God. Then the voice spoke again. God told Moses that he had seen the suffering of his people, the Israelites, who were enslaved in Egypt. He had heard their cries and was ready to rescue them. Moses' eyes widened in shock. He stared at the burning bush, shaking his head. Moses was still unsure. What if they didn't believe him? What if they asked, "Who sent you?" This name, I Am, was powerful. It meant that God is eternal, unchanging, and sovereign over all things. Still, Moses hesitated, so God gave him signs. He told Moses to throw his staff on the ground. Moses obeyed, and the staff transformed into a snake. He jumped back in fear. Then God told Moses to put his hand inside his cloak. When Moses pulled it out, his hand was covered in a terrible skin disease. But when he placed it back inside and removed it again, his skin was healed. These signs will show them that I have sent you. Moses looked down, still uncertain. Even then, Moses hesitated. He pleaded with God, "Please send someone else." Then God showed his mercy and patience. And with that, the course of history changed forever. Moses, the shepherd who thought he was unworthy, would become the leader of a nation. The man who doubted his ability to speak would proclaim God's message to Pharaoh. The man who had run away from Egypt would return, not as a fugitive, but as a messenger of the Almighty God. God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Just like Moses, we all have moments of doubt. We question if we're good enough, strong enough, or capable enough. But God doesn't look for perfection, He looks for obedience. If He calls you, He will equip you. So when you hear His voice, how will you respond? Don't forget to subscribe for more Bible stories that inspire and strengthen your faith.